Good morning, caller.
Dr. Sutherland, morning.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Professor Iman, big up yourself.
Yes, sir. Morning.
No, Ralston, there's a number of things I wanted to talk to you about this morning, but it don't look possible. But here what
We
happened
only
now.
have 5 minutes. Yeah.
Right, here what happened. I believe there are two things that we need to do in Jamaica to grow the economy. And I think this government just squandered $11 billion
Yeah, man.
that could have
11.4 billion wasted.
11 that could have gotten us on our way. Because
Yeah.
my suggestion, Ralston, is that 11.4 billion could have been a loan to farmers at 1 or 2%.
Precisely. Better use of the money than
Yeah.
what they're
Make it
using to do.
easy
Yeah,
for
man.
farmers to get it at
Yes.
1 or 2%,
Yeah.
and even approach farmers. People who are doing fish rearing right now. I'm gonna raise 2,000 fish. Bring him up to 200,000.
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna 50 goat because you see now that this man is interested.
Yes.
Give him some land, get him the loan, and bring him up to 1,000 goat.
Yep.
You understand? Instead of we give away the $11.4 billion to go buy foreign food. Mikhail Phillips said this morning,
Yeah, man.
the government is bankrupt of ideas.
I agree.
The orange economy, Ralston, is the only industry right now in Jamaica that within a one-term period of any government can turn this economy around. I try to explain to people, and I give people a little more meat on the bone now that we're getting close to an election. The film industry, Ralston, film is like, all right, like a man make seasoning for sell. He must package it in a bucket. Film is the package for Jamaica's culture
Yeah, man.
and the talent that we have so as to export it. Now it need one more critical ingredient. How you going to export it? And that is where Jamaica needs to be looking so as to grow the economy, because we can't continue to borrow from Peter to pay Paul. That's not growing no economy.
Madness.
So the agriculture industry
Yeah, man.
to cut the food importation bill and to shore up food security, because COVID taught us something, but this government never learned it, you know. That at any time, importation can be a major problem.
And we're in that phase in the globe right now. You're seeing more of those things happening right now.
There you go. And we not try produce. The government is not getting involved in production, and they're running around and talking about the economy is doing good. Yeah, the fiscal side is doing good with maintaining the discipline that was set into law by the last PNP administration. So it's not like them do something that them could have do different. You know? The only thing is that them paying on the loan faster. That is destroying our infrastructure.
Yeah, man.
And then the Prime Minister now is blaming the opposition. But I say to my people, you know, anytime a government start blame the opposition for their shortcoming, it means that they don't know what else to do.
Exactly.
They are out of ideas, and time come for a new direction. Time come for change, Ralston.
Yeah, man.
But Jamaica don't have to be so poor.
No, man.
No.
We have, God has given us all that we need, you know, to make it out there, you know. Mexico, Ralston, is earning 15 billion US a year from the culture and the creative industry, you know. What is happening to us? I like the idea of Babsy putting together this insurance for creatives. But where the rest of the money going to come from, Ralston? Because that's something I need to hear from you. This $50 million, it is a one-time payment, or the government going to pump 50 million into it every year?
Well, she never said.
Well, yeah.
So we need to know.
The idea is brilliant, but I don't think it has been worked out properly.
Yes, I don't know if it's a brilliant political move like the 11.4 billion. So we need.
I think it's a political move. I think it's a slush fund to buy a vote for the next election.
Because the entertainer, what happened is that the entertainers are very popular, and they are seeing that some entertainers are more gravitating towards a particular side. So what they're trying to do is to get some of them to come back over the other side.
Because I told people in Ralston that when they were talking about cartel at the PNP conference, I told people it was bad mind, you know. Me come out straight away and say, listen, don't worry about it. It's simply bad mind on behalf of the GLP. You see Vibes cartel in the picture with Babsy Grange now?
Yeah.
So he's not a criminal again.
So it's the thing. But remember that one particular presidential candidate pulled out all of the entertainers and still lost. Remember that.
Yeah.
There you go. But
because the people are voting on the issues that affect them, the bread and butter, the road, the hospital bed, them not available.
Right? And the amount of foreign exchange, you and I, because Mexico, Ralston, is earning 15 billion US a year from the culture and the creative industry. You know, what is happening to us? I like the idea of Babsy putting together this insurance for creatives, but where the rest of the money going to come from, Ralston? Because that's something I need to hear from you. This $50 million, it is a one-time payment, or the government going to pump 50 million into it every year?
Well, she never said. Yeah. So we need to know.
The idea is brilliant, but I don't think it has been worked out properly.
Yes, and it's a brilliant political move, like 11.4 billion. So we need.
I think it's a political move. I think it's a slush fund to buy a vote for the next election.
Because the entertainer, what happened is that the entertainers are very popular, and they are seeing that some entertainers are more gravitating towards a particular side. So what they are trying to do is to get some of them to come back over the other side.
Because I told people in Ralston that when they were talking about cartel at the PNP conference, I told people it was bad mind, Me come out straight away and say, listen, don't worry about it. It's simply bad mind on behalf of the GLP. You see Vibes cartel in the picture with Babsy Grange now?
Yeah.
So he's not a criminal again.
So it's the thing. Remember that one particular presidential candidate pulled out all of the entertainers and still lost. Remember that?
Yeah.
There you go. But
because the people are voting on the issues that affect them, the bread and butter, the road.
Morning, my people. Good morning and welcome. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the ways of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful, but his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law do we meditate day and night. For we shall be like trees planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth fruit in our season. Our leaves shall not wither, and whatsoever we do shall prosper. Morning, welcome to Portland Spice TV. Happy to have you, my people. Share up the channel now. Call some people. This morning is school morning. And it's not a lecture. It's school. Simplifying the matters. So, we're going to be talking to Ralston Iman this morning. Yeah, man, my general. We'll talk to him this morning. Because we have to keep you updated, on what is happening with the Jamaican economy. We can't leave it up to people who are spewing lies and spreading propagandas. We can't do that. So we have to ensure that we put it out there, lay it on the table, so that the people can understand what is happening in Jamaica, where we are. Because I put out the ad and I said Jamaica economy is in trouble. And a lot of people behave like it's a gouting. We are saying to them that it is not a gouting. It's not a gouting. The truth is, some things are happening. So, you can't go say nothing now happen. That would not be true. Some things are happening. But for the thing to be good, it needs a number of things to happen. It's not just one thing. I'm going to make it good. It's a number of things. And where we are as a country, we're basically suffering some ills. Yeah. We're suffering some ills. And trouble there. Trouble there. But some people don't want us to agree that there's trouble. They want to tell us that everything is all right. And we know, say everything No, all right. So, it is our responsibility as the fourth estate, because mainstream media alone is no longer the fourth estate. Yeah? The fourth estate also includes social media. So, people in social media, we have to play our role. Yeah? We have to play our role in advancing the welfare of the whole human race. Advancing what is supposed to happen. Yeah? And to share with the people. Because we can't just believe, say, everybody who we hear in the space out there, they are credible. Some of them, they are not credible. And because they are not credible, they spew lies to our people. Spew lies. And when they spew these lies, people get confused. So, me know say, the truth is, data it is what drives all of this. Data. Hold on. Let's do it this way. Data is what drives the thing. And some people are talking from the seat of their pants. And some people are living in an illusion. They don't realize that there are people who will deceive you. People who will deceive you. And people who you don't want them to deceive you. Understand what I say? People, you don't want them to deceive you. I don't like them not deceive you, but because you don't want them to deceive you, you tell yourself that they are not deceiving you. When they are indeed deceiving you. So that's a big part of the problem. And hold on, my brethren. And it has led to a lot of fallout and a lot of people behave like people that disrespect them. Rally morning.
Morning, sir.
How are you, my brother?
I'm good.
Beautiful and wonderful. God has been good.
Yeah, man.
Welcome to Portland Spice TV, Ralston.
Yes, sir.
And
yes, sir.
I just want to say thanks to the man for allowing us on this platform to have access to your wealth of knowledge and your analysis of the Jamaican economy and where we are as a people, what is happening to our nation. We thank you,
man.
Sir. And may I also tell some people, say, I follow you from the days when PNP was in power in the 90s. And you are not behaving any different now than you behaved back then. You are simply giving us your analysis of the data. That's one aspect. But you're also giving us the information that the data provides.
Correct.
And therefore, there's no going around it. So, I could get tonight, Rally.
Mm-hmm.
I said in my preamble that Jamaica's economy is in real trouble. What say you?
Yeah, man. We have a crisis right now. So, for example, for the first 6 months of this year, the economy only grew by 0.8%. For the quarter ended June, 0.1%. This is coming after 10 consecutive quarters of deceleration in the rate of economic recovery, according to Statin. Both the BOJ and the PIOJ are projecting that the economy will decline by 1.5% by the end of this fiscal year. The first time in a long time. The country's infrastructure, everybody can see, is in a total state of devastation that even Darrell Vaz, the Minister of Transport, has been calling upon the Prime Minister to use emergency procurement to fix the country's roads because of the devastating state of the country's roads. We see the tourism sector is imploded. It flatlined during the second quarter because of the various travel advisories issued by the U.S. State Department. And now we see the domestic issues of the poor treatment and poor pay received by the workers causing all of these industrial unrest. We see the remittance flows shrinking up to October, and we see the trade deficit widening. Merchandise exports dipped for 6 consecutive months. So we're in an economic crisis in Jamaica at this particular point in time, at a time where the external economy is going to also get worse. Yeah? So that's the situation. We see the central bank now saying that it is going to, and it is right in this regard, reduce interest rates more slowly, because the Federal Reserve said they will also go more slowly because Trump's policies are going to inflate the American economy. So we are in a very bad shape.
Ralston, I want you to explain to my listeners the importance of the growth of the economy of the country, what that means. Because sometimes I believe some people don't understand the fact that the economy is decelerating, it's slowing down, and the fact that it's not growing. What that mean?
Means just like a household, we can't afford the basic social services, we can't fix our roads, we can't pay our teachers properly, we can't build new schools, more people get poor. Poverty now, up in 2022, was 16.7% nationally and 22% in the rural areas. So if you're not growing, you're going to get poorer, and the conditions in the country are going to be like Arms House, what you see now, Arms House Road, Arms House hospitals, you can't get no hospital beds. Yeah, the courthouse is run down, everything that's run down. That's poverty.
But what do you say then, Ralston, when there are some people, they talk about the macroeconomic is stable and the debt is reducing and the debt to GDP is at 70%, never at this low, many decades. What that mean?
All right, let's start with the debt to GDP. That's not true. The debt to GDP was 60% when Michael Mann left office in 1980. Then it jumped to 212% in 1984 under Mr. SHACKA, and in 1990 when he left office, it was 236%. Mm-hmm. When, despite them talk all about FinSAC, when Omar Davies left office, the debt to GDP was 115%. Yeah, and then Ardley Shaw and the JLP administration carried to 147%. Peter Phillips brought it down to 120%. Then in 2017, they amended the public debt law and took out the Bank of Jamaica debt and brought it down to 80%. And then we crawled down to the current 70% where we are now.
So, Ralston, the issue that we looking at is one that is confusing to a lot of people.
All right, I could clarify it.
Hold on. It's confusing. I want to tell you something. Do you know, I don't, well, maybe you do, but my listeners, in 2016 in Jamaica, a pound of chicken, best dressed or CB chicken, was on average $100 per pound. Are you aware of that, Ralston?
Well, a lot of people don't know. When Peter Phillips left office, inflation was 3.7%. Although inflation fell in October, it is still 4.9%.
But hold on, let me tell you where a pound of chicken there right now. A pound of chicken now, on average, is at $390 per pound.
Of course, that is why I'm making the point. So inflation, which measures the average price increase, is higher now than when Peter Phillips left office, of course.
And hear this. The minimum wage in 2016 was $6,200. It is now $15,000. So hear this, Ralston. The minimum wage has increased by approximately 150%. But a pound of chicken has increased by 300%.
Yeah, which means that people are getting poorer and poorer and they can buy less chicken now. That is why you see the people on the road talking about these things. Yes, you're correct.
So tell me now, why is it somebody's going around or some people going around and saying that Jamaican economic is in a good place and good economic and yam.
Well, that is deception, man. Yeah, man. But we have to look at the figures, and the figures that we look at. And when the Prime Minister said that, we're not talking about somebody. That's what the Prime Minister is saying, and I'm saying he's talking nonsense because when he said them things, them don't give the numbers. We have the numbers, and it's the numbers that he used to measure performance. Mm-hmm. The dollar was 121 in 2016. It is now $159.30 yesterday. So look at cheap political talk, them things can't work. We have to refer to the figures. Yeah?
So the figures, Ralston, you spoke about what? 10 quarters of deceleration?
Deceleration, the rate of economic recovery, yeah. To reach 0.1% now. So the economy is at stall speed right now.
Stall?
And then both Mr. Biles and Wayne Henry said we'll go over the cliff by 1.5%. These are supposed to be independent people. So it's not PNP people. Mr. Biles, the governor of the Bank of Jamaica, and Wayne Henry, the director general of the planning suite of Jamaica. So we're going to tip over by 1.5% this year.
Hold on, meaning that we're not going to have no growth, we're going to have minus growth?
The economy has a decline.
What does that mean for the average man, Ralston?
Get poorer.
Means that he need more money to buy a pound of chicken.
Yeah, man. And him now going to find the money.
And him pay going to remain the same.
Yeah, man. And he have to look out for criminal, he have to look out for everybody because everybody get poorer, everybody are hustling. Survival will become the key, so you have to have more violence, more robbery, more everything. And that is going to be worse if Mr. Trump deports some people back to Jamaica. That is going to create even a bigger problem.
Me not even want to go there so yet, Rally. I don't even want to go there so yet, I swear to you. Because let's just stay home and look at what is happening in Jamaica. Because people are saying that we are speaking doom and gloom over the country. And it is
which means that Mr. Biles and Mr. Wayne Henry will be saying, Dr. Wayne Henry will speak in doom and gloom too, because they are the ones who are putting out the figures.
So you are saying Mr. Biles, the head of the Bank of Jamaica, is saying that Jamaica is crashing, or Jamaica crash. Which one?
It's going to decline by 1.5% by the end of this fiscal year. Mr. Wayne Henry, Dr. Wayne Henry, the planning institute said the same thing.
So this now is going contrary to what the GLP had promised. 5% growth in 4 years.
When they take over, the economy was so good that them say after 5 years, after 4 years, they grew by 5% every year after that.
And
that was Mr. Nigel Clark, Mr. Michael Leachin, and the Prime Minister. The picture is still there for people can go and research the picture.
So they said that after 4 years, they'll grow
by 5% every year after that.
What has the growth rate been after that speech, Ralston? Can you break it down for us?
We are now down to 0.1% after 8 years.
So at what stage did we reach that 5%?
5%?
Yeah, then man not said them all grow at 5%. At what stage did we get there?
I'm just telling you we're now at 0.1 after 8 years.
Hold on. So we didn't get to 5% at no time. That's what you're saying?
Never, ever.
Did we get to 4%?
No.
Did we get to 3%?
No. The last time we get to 3% was on the Omar Davies who then cost every day.
Did we get to 2%?
No.
Did we get to
1.9?
1.5
and 0.6 and them kind of things.
So we never got to 2% out of the promised 5?
No, Nigel Clark's growth.
You must be a crazy man.
Nigel Clark's growth record was extremely poor. What he did was to try to confuse recovery with economic growth.
Ralston, me have to stop you, man. So on what data is Dr. Clark even a good finance minister? On what data? Find some data make him good for me, Ralston.
In my opinion, he was a massive and monumental socio-economic disaster. Because even when you look at the debt to 70%, as I told you before, the big one was Petra Caribbean, which brought us down to 120, and then what they did after that was to cancel the Bank of Jamaica debt.
So
to bring it down to about 80.
So hold on there. So you are saying even the debt to GDP that went down, you're not giving that to Nigel Clark?
No.
When the PNP,
No,
hold on, Ralston. When the PNP leave office 2016, the debt to GDP, and I have it right here saying, Ralston, on screen, may have it, the debt to GDP was 113.
Yeah, man, call it 115.
115%. But it's at 70% now. What you mean, I know Dr. Clark do that?
I'm saying to you, they carried it from when they left the Bank of Jamaica debt. The Bank of Jamaica under Section 9 of the Bank of Jamaica Act. The government of Jamaica normally assumes the debt built up by the Bank of Jamaica. What they did is just use a pen and cancel all of that.
I said them not take that debt no more.
Yeah, it was known as the Public Debt Amendment Act of 2017. Anybody can go on and computer and type it up.
And that's what percent? That was what percentage? That brought the GDP.
That dropped off about 30%, 40% off of the debt.
So that alone carried down to about 80%.
About 80%, as I told you before.
So and then you are saying that Petro carry, but the Petro carry part was under the PNP.
Yeah, man.
And that helped bring down the debt.
Yeah.
And save Jamaica a lot in the meltdown.
Yeah, man.
So hold on now, man. So what is it? What is the data? And maybe we need to get help elsewhere to find the data that makes Dr. Nigel Clark the best finance minister.
The data is a media and private sector creation. What makes him the greatest in terms of the private sector and the media is that him run these high primary surpluses and make sure the banker man them get them money, while at the same time running down the country's infrastructure. It was an unmitigated social and economic disaster. All these infrastructure programs that the Prime Minister is blaming on the next government is Nigel Clark. So
Nigel Clark is PNPism?
Yep. Mash up the country's infrastructure.
Ralston, did this administration pay the bank more than they need to pay the bank at any time?
Right now, them still are doing it. If you look at the latest, and all of them psychophants can check this. If you go up on the Ministry of Finance, they can tell them no. Go to them computer, type in mof.ja.com, and you'll see the Ministry of Finance come up. Then you go on fiscal operations, and then you tell you the month, and when you click on the month, you will see that between April and September, the primary surplus, that's the amount of money that is accumulated to service the debt, was running at $36.17 billion, when the amount needed was only $16 billion. And they cut the capital budget by $4 billion from 29 to 25.
So you're saying that the payment for the bank for the month is
for the period from April to September.
For the from April to September, you needed to pay the bank, let's say
16.85 billion.
Let's say 17 billion for ease of understanding. You should pay the bank 17 billion. But you are saying that they paid 34 billion?
36.17 billion.
36. So they paid the loan up 100%.
Almost 20 billion more than necessary.
How much of that went to the principal of the loan?
Well, they don't have that breakdown.
They don't have that breakdown.
Yeah, they don't break it down in that detail.
But they are paying, instead of paying 17 million and use the other 19 million.
Billion.
My apologies. When we're talking about the government people, million is no more. It's billion and trillion. Yeah. So sorry about that. $19 billion more.
Yeah, man.
The holes in the budget and the money that they need to find. So they could have used that 19 billion. Couldn't they?
Of course. And fix the road them and all of them something.
So why they have not been doing that, Ralston?
That is something that he consistently does, and that is why I was always telling the people that he was not working for the people of Jamaica. He was working for the international agencies. So it wasn't a surprise to me when the international agencies Call him because he was always working for them.
So the good that will come out of paying the debt early, because some people believe it's a brilliant idea. Pay off your debt. And we're coming and we're going to come to the paying off the debt. If the debt, we're going to look and see if the debt is being paid off, people. So hold on, we are simplify the thing. So you are saying that what Nigel Clark did not benefit me and you and the average man in Jamaica. The man on the street, the man where I work at the hotel, the man where I drive the bus, I work the fireman, the police. What he did not benefit them.
No, it benefit the big bankers, and that's why they were always supporting him, and because that they use them power within the media to market him as the best finance minister.
All right, let's look
at a marketing thing.
Let's look at the debt, Ralston. In 2016, how much money did Jamaica owe?
$2 trillion.
$2 trillion was the debt. That is the money where Jamaica owe the IMF, the banks in Jamaica, the people who buy government paper. The government owed $2 trillion. What is the present debt of the Jamaican people right now?
$2.3 trillion. He's borrowing $260 billion this year alone.
So how they said to us, Ralston, that we're paying down the debt and we're not borrowing?
They are servicing the debt.
So why we don't hear these things? Why these things are hidden from the people? Them tell we Ralston said we are paying down the debt. Paying down the debt to me, tell me if me an idiot, because paying down the debt to me means that I am owing less. If me did owe you $3 trillion today, and me pay down the debt, we must owe less than $3 trillion.
No, well, they're not paying down the debt because every time them service it, them borrow more. Last year, they borrowed $139 billion. This year, they are borrowing almost 2 times that. They are borrowing $260 billion this year.
So, hold on now. But they say we're not borrowing, Ralston.
Come on, man.
Ralston, when I repeat is what the man them have said publicly, we're not borrowing.
And next thing what the people them can do, the psychophants them can go on the Bank of Jamaica website on any given day and click on, you'll see a thing named notices come up. Click on it and then you'll see the government borrowing activity. Up to Wednesday, the government floated a 7% fixed rate CD.
Yes.
For 52 billion. And they got 61 billion instead.
They get people buy up government paper.
Yeah, they have to get 7% on the paper.
But when the Prime Minister said recently about government paper.
Prime Minister confused, man. Desperate and chat there rubbish. Yeah, we confused.
Why are we not seeing these things balancing out there, Ralston? People showing why nobody fact check the Prime Minister?
Well, I'm here fact checking him because I follow all of the numbers. And I know where to find everything.
All right. So you are saying to us, Ralston, that Prime Minister Andrew Holness is deceiving the people of Jamaica?
Yeah, man. Maybe you don't know better. Maybe you don't know about finance either. So, all of that.
Ralston, I said it to you yesterday morning. And I want to say it to you so. For all my people them know. The government of Jamaica just squandered another $11.4 billion. Now, let me say this to people because I am a member of the People's National Party. I am the Deputy Shadow Minister of Culture and the Creative Industry. This is not the PNP speaking. This is Colin Bell speaking. The government of Jamaica just squandered $11.4 billion because people will get them $20,000. I mean, I see nobody yet where I jump will get it. I know people will get it, Ralston. I mean, I see nobody where I say hippie hooray. Because $20,000 to an individual who have a job and a work can stop a gap, but it's not the end all.
Yeah, well,
why didn't the government use that 20 billion, the 11.4 billion, sorry, 11.4 billion? Why the government didn't use that to pump into agriculture? Give it as an agricultural loan at 1 or 2% to our farmers. Wow. How far that would have pushed agriculture, Ralston?
Yeah, man, that would be a more productive use of the country's resources that would lead to faster economic growth, reduce the level of crime in the rural areas, and reduce the pressure on the exchange rate. The food import bill was like $963 million for the first 6 months of this year.
963 million US.
Yeah, man. Again, for the skeptics and the psychophone, you can go up on Statin website.
Yeah.
And click on the website and you see international trade data come up. So I tell them which part them can find everything for themselves. Them not
yes, but prove it. Because when I bring Ralston Hyman on this program, we're not talking from gut feelings. We're putting the data that is provided by the government.
Yeah, man.
I know the government provide them data, yeah.
Yeah, man. All those are government agencies. So the Prime Minister said things that are contrary to what the agencies are saying. So don't listen to him. Go to the agencies if you want the truth.
But how this is allowed, though, Ralston, for the Prime Minister to be bamboozling the people of Jamaica?
Well, maybe because the people who are supposed to be fact-checking and not doing their work properly. Well, I try to do a proper job. I fact-check every Prime Minister, every Finance Minister. So Omar Davies and I used to have the same problems. So when them come down and make it look like, say, it's a PNP thing. No.
Let's go back to that, Ralston. You used to challenge Omar Davies. What was the problem you were having then with the running of the economy? Because what people not understanding, Ralston, and the people we have a problem with it is the running and the management of the country.
Correct.
Because if this country not managed properly, we have a problem all the way. Go ahead.
Yeah. So you're the problems I had with Omar as a man who teach me. Yeah.
Omar taught you.
Yeah.
All right. Talk to me.
All right. Is that, and him admit it now, that him run their interest rate regime for too long. A lot of people never know that when the economy was liberalized, Omar Davies was the finance minister at the time. Omar Davies was teaching in the Department of Economics at the University of the West Indies.
Talk to me.
Omar Davies became finance minister in 1992 after the liberalization took place in September of 1990. Mm-hmm. So by the time Omar Davies became finance minister, inflation was running at 80%. The net international reserves were minus $500 million. So that's a problem he had to deal with. So him come and build the reserves from minus 500 to 2.4 billion. Mistake that he make is to keep their interest rate regime too long. When him come, the banking regulations were very poor. He had to upgrade all of the banking regulations. There was no FSC to manage the non-deposit taking institutions. There was no Jamaica Deposit Insurance Corporation. He had to put in all of them something.
Yeah. So you had to build a system.
All right, you get the point. Because we had no system, because Mr. Sayaga's system was bogus.
Oh, wow.
We thought that's straight. Experience what I thought from.
So, you and Omar, you say Omar taught you. What was the relationship like back then, Ralston, with Omar Davies?
One thing with Omar Davies, as a finance minister and as an analyst, him not carrying no grudges. So even if you criticize him not carrying no grudges.
Oh.
Like comes to some man go on now, yep.
So you and him, even back then, still had a good relationship?
Yeah, man. Even right now.
Where were you when Edward Siaga was Minister of Finance?
I was the financial editor of the Jamaica Record. I am the longest serving financial editor in the entire Jamaica. The most experienced analyst in the entire Jamaica.
So?
At that time, Dr. Hedley Brown was central bank governor.
Okay. And back then, would you say the media was more on the ball?
Yeah, man. I had more experienced journalists. Yeah, man.
So
man like Project the Freitas, man like Moses Jackson.
And
yeah, man.
And hold on, we have to say condolences to oh God, this brother you passed on this morning yesterday.
Who that?
This media man, yeah, man. Oh God, I was looking at it this morning. Oh wow. Top media guru, the man from long time. I can see if I find it back. Yeah, man. Oh Lord, him name just asleep now. I don't know why.
Okay.
Name asleep, but he passed on yesterday.
Yeah, so we had man like Paget, we had man like Desmond Richard, Franklin McKnight, Moses Jackson. You follow me?
But Franklin McKnight is still around.
Yeah, man. At the University of Wisconsin Department of Economics, you had man like Omar, you had man like Mike Witter, Clearman Curtin, Professor Norman Gervan, Al Francis, Dylan Allen, them kind of man there where the university at that time played a critical role in discussing macroeconomic policies. And like the nonsense that take place now.
Nobody in business.
Yep.
Let's come back to now, Ralston. Because if the economy is as bad as you say, and Nigel Clark was as bad as you say, welcome Honorable Favour Williams. What say you? Well, she has gone she has gone a couple of days in office. Give me your assessment.
All right. So the Honorable, even prior to that, the Honorable Favour Williams is somebody who I know personally. Right? A good personal relationship. But the point is that the Honorable Favour Williams was against the Petrocarib deal, one of the biggest deals that we have ever done. And the people, again, the sycophants, them can type in on them phone conversations between Ralstonheimer and Favour Williams, because I was not a principal architect with Dr. Peter Phillips in terms of Petrocarib. She, Arbin Hill, and Adi Manayad Shah opposed Petrocarib. That's one. So that's a part of our credibility deficit. Additionally, when I told them that the 1.5 would cost 32 billion, she, Arbin Hill, told the country it would cost 0 billion. Then they moved to 9 billion. Then they moved to 12 billion. Then they moved to 20 billion. Yep. So to me, so that in the back, there's a credibility deficit there. Since she came in.
Why you say credibility? What if she never knew? No, Ralston, come on. What if she never knew? Where you said that worse?
Of course. Of course. Of course. Something can be so important to the macro economy, and you're a top lieutenant of the opposing party to run the country, and then you don't know about those things.
But Ralston, haven't you seen a lot of incompetence in this administration?
Of course. Of course.
So you can't put it past. Because,
of course. And then
why would somebody do something that would hurt the country as a politician? I don't believe any politician would intentionally do something to hurt the country.
Well, cheap politics, let me just want to win the election, and that was the only thing that could have come.
Well, win the election and fix whatever come after. Isn't that one of the motto of some politicians?
Yeah, man. That is what they need.
So, outside of our credibility, Ralston, she has been in the office for a couple of days. What have you seen so far? Give us
again, I'm telling you that the credibility gap continues, because I was even dictating the release to her that she'd have written over the radar. So the first thing she did when she came in is to try and dispute what happened over the last 10 years in terms of the debt to GDP and bringing back Jamaica in the international capital market. Try to erase what Peter Phillips did and try to confuse the people. Now, that is a well-known story internationally. So if I were her, when I came in, I would have said, boy, the economy is now flatlining, and my priority is to change direction and to accelerate economic growth.
Right.
As a result of that, I'm going to be meeting with the president of the Bankers Association to try and get her to understand that they need to reduce the lending rates in conjunction with what the Bank of Jamaica did, so that we can get the economy going again, because we are in a bad state. That is the kind of statement that I expected her to issue, rather than coming to try and challenge what took place and what Peter and Portia did over the last 10 years. Cheap politicking. Then on Sunday, she wrote an article when she said that Jamaica's capital budget has tripled from 42 billion to 80 billion. Bad start.
What is wrong with that argument from Jamaica's? What was that again? Give me that again.
Tripled from 42 to 80.
Tripled?
Yeah, man.
From 42 billion to 80 billion. But if it tripled, it must be 120 billion.
Ah, you get the point.
Fuzzy math?
All right. You get the point.
Fuzzy math? Ralston,
Yeah.
so as it relates to the constraints that we see ahead, our infrastructure is in a deplorable condition. The Prime Minister on Tuesday announced a $1.3 billion road maintenance fund. Adequate?
No, man, that can't do nothing, man. That's joke business.
But that can't rehabilitate one road anywhere.
That's a joke business, man. That's a joking, man.
How, though, do you say that the country is doing well, have so much money, and you can't really get out there and address the problems that confronts us?
Because it's not true. The country is bankrupt.
So
and next administration, whether it is theirs or the other one, is going to have a hard time preparing a budget without an increase in borrowing. So the stupidity of Nigel Clark saying that he's paying down the debt and servicing the debt before time, crash everything so that the economy can grow, so you can generate the revenues that are needed. So you have to turn around and sell 12 years receivables, squander part of it from vote buying consumption, and then the whole place smash up, and all of fix it back, you have to borrow more money. Because you can't come with a tax package, and you can't cut spending.
What is Jamaica's fiscal position right now, Ralston?
The fiscal deficit is $58 billion.
58 billion.
Mm-hmm.
So we need 58 billion. We need $58 billion more for balance.
Yeah, man, they spend $58 billion more than program for in the period April to September.
So wouldn't that run us into debt?
Of course, that is an addition to the debt. That's the point I'm making to you. If you spend more than you earn, you must have to borrow.
How is the budget? Well, we did a supplementary budget the other day. Is it running in accordance? Well, that's a stupid question because...
Well, we have the new budget now.
Right. No, but you just said we're still in a deficit, so that means the budget now operate, the figures now stay as they are too.
No. So why think you might have to sell the 12 years receivables? They don't have no money.
The country don't have no money.
Yeah.
Why are we not paying the contractors?
Because they don't have no money.
You know, sometimes, Ralston, I understand when people think that we are preaching doom and gloom, because this is 180 degrees.
But these are facts.
From what the government is saying.
Yes,
we
so what the people must
on
do.
the other side.
Yes. So what the people must do, because all of this information is on the website of the Ministry of Finance, the Planning Institute of Jamaica, the Statistical Institute of Jamaica, and the Bank of Jamaica. Those are the four agencies that deal with the country's money and economy. So everybody can check it for themselves. The reason why I know because I check them things every day. I do that for 36 years, whoever is the finance minister.
So, next year budget, Ralston, what next year budget going to look like with all of what you are saying now? Because that means pure trouble there, so. And that's why me tell a guy, say, Jamaica economy in problem.
Yeah, man. Of course, it's pure trouble. We have to borrow more money or cut spending or increase taxes. Or any government do that are in trouble. The people are up on the street.
So how next year budget will look?
That's the point I'm making to you. They have to go borrow more money because the other two options are out. The people are going to take the street if they go for the other two options.
So we have to go borrow more money.
Spending or raise taxes.
How we going to pay about that more money when we have borrow? Because...
Well, that is going to be a big problem. So you have to find a way to use the money to accelerate growth. So all these fools spending more $11.4 billion for vote buying. As you say, that should go in agriculture. Excess primary surplus, them should use that and fix the road, in particular the rural road network, train the river, them train the gully, and make the country more resilient. So when the rain them come, we don't have the kind of damage that we have.
So what the meaning of this tax give back? $20,000. Because, yeah, you say it's vote buying, Ralston, but let's look at it. Me know people will get that $20,000 there where come hell or high water would never vote GLP.
Well,
so
Well, the assumption is that some of those people are going to vote for them. Remember, them said 580,000 people are benefit. So the assumption is that some are going to vote for us.
Yes.
Simple.
Some will vote for them.
Yeah, man.
But when you squander that money, because it hurt me, no, Ralston, I tell a man no lie, you know.
Yeah, man.
When we see the government do with that $11.4 billion, hurt me to my core till me say to my accountant say apply for my 20. Because me earn less than $3 million a year.
Yeah, man.
So me tell my accountant apply for my 20. When I tell me say me need or take it.
All right, so tell me something now. You believe that the job of a finance minister is to allocate resources in a productive way. You believe a great finance minister would allocate resources like that? That's just a straight political thing.
Ralston, I don't even see it as political. I see it as madness, downright dumb.
All right, so using your terminology, you believe a great finance minister would do something like that?
Oh, you can't do that in a time like this. Oh, you're going to do that. Oh, when you have an agriculture sector that is in tatters and you can find $11 billion. You know how much farmer this morning would have put in some more fish, put in some more goat, get some... No, I believe the government squandered a wonderful opportunity. You have $11.4 billion.
Right, so look at this. So look at the math. Them say the finance minister is a great mathematician and everything. So your food import bill is 150 billion Jamaican dollars. And you could use 11 billion and reduce it. And you ignore that.
But it could have more than reduced it. It could have reduced, you could have reduced it by a good 25% in a Ralston.
Right, that I'm telling you. So how can you tell me that man is great?
No, but how can Jamaicans be sitting down and still talking about going in this direction?
Yeah, right.
I am saying to my people, look here. This is not about GLP or PNP. This is about Jamaica. The country going in the wrong direction.
Yeah, man.
That $11.4 billion could turn around our agriculture industry and you'd still have the $11.3 billion and more because you'd get back a 1 or a 2% interest on it.
Yeah, man.
What rubbish.
Yeah, man.
How are we going to survive now, Ralston? How are we going to fix this now? Solution.
Well, as I'm saying, the things that the people should do. So the people have to make the first move. And then whoever comes there, have to find a way to deal with agriculture. Slow the amount of money where I used to pay the debt before time. Deal with agriculture. Fix the road them. Get our energy policy going so that they can reduce the cost of energy. Yeah, that kind of stuff. Train the country's labor force. So when you have almost full employment, you get more output. What I have now are full employment and less output because the people are untrained and employed.
What can go so? You have the lowest unemployment rate. You have the lowest unemployment rate in the history. Well, there were low unemployment rate, Ralston. Well, slavery, we had full employment, but people never have nothing. Isn't that where we are now?
Yeah, man, that's my point.
Why do you tell workers are protesting, Ralston? Why?
Poor pay, poor working conditions, and treat them like slaves. So we move from the banana plantation slave to the big hotel tourism plantation.
Why them never protest 2 years ago?
Well, then I get more fed up now. Time I get harder, the treatment I get worse.
Ralston, I dare say to you, is not just the treatment. The treatment, I said to you, is one thing and one thing alone. It is the pay, Ralston, because here what happened.
The people them say the pay too low. Listen. And them treat them bad, them can't go drink water and all of them places there that can't think. Even the tourists them are protesting the workers, them are say, yo, not treat the people them too bad.
Ralston, I tell you this. 2 years ago, they did not treat them same way. 3 years ago, they did not treat them bad. But here what happened, Ralston. Hold on, here what happened. If you used to pay $100 a pound for chicken and you are
get... cost of living gone up.
Then it's cost of living and mash up everything. The money just cannot make. You are working, you're going to work, and you have to borrow money to go to work. You have to beg money if you pay your light bill when the month come. It just cannot work.
Yeah, so what's the point of working? That's what they're saying.
Then that's why a man said, brother, if me lose my job, no, I know nothing because the job can't facilitate me better. Me now work. Because when me now work, me now have transportation expense. Me now have to buy lunch a road.
Yeah, man.
Me can't just stay in my yard.
True.
So, some people are try to complicate the thing, you know. Those hotel workers, it have nothing to do with politics. It have nothing.
No, cost of living issues, man. Bread and butter issues, man.
Bread and butter issues.
Yeah, man.
So, how we going to produce if we're not really serious about agriculture? That's what I'm saying to you. Because I said this to you, Ralston. I said this to you. It's two things in Jamaica that we must get serious about if we are going to really produce. Agriculture.
Brand Jamaica.
Brand Jamaica. Agriculture, food, and the creative industry.
And link them with the tourism industry. And the manufacturing, agro-processing industry. Yeah, man.
We're not
and get
serious.
a proper energy policy.
Exactly. And those you have to do those fast.
Yeah, man.
Very fast.
Time is not on our side because the international economy has deteriorated rapidly.
Ralston, them say we attack doom and gloom. I see trouble coming, and I am not hearing from this government the things that they are planning to do.
Them not ideas, man. The only idea is PMPism. Them not have no idea, man. They don't have ideas.
It's a pleasure talking to you another Saturday morning in Ralston. And we thank you. We thank you for allowing us to tap into your knowledge.
But hold on, before we go. I could just give a little forward planning where them supposed to do.
Talk to us.
The economic policies being pursued by Donald Trump is going to cost the average American $2,600 more per year to survive. So some of the tourists them never go on a visit because them are harder for them to survive. Additionally, interest rates are going to go up. The Fed start get a signal because Trump's policies will be inflationary. Right? That means the remittances coming to Jamaica are going to shrink. The tourism money coming to Jamaica is going to shrink because 70% of both the remittances and tourism come from America. And then it's mass deportation. Even if we send home 200, 300, 400 man, that poses more problem to crime. So we need to start planning for them. Any administration who's serious about Jamaica have to start planning for that eventuality. The man in Europe start plan already. And the man in Asia start plan already.
Ralston, so what you are saying to us, that anybody who is going to put together the next budget going to have a real hard task.
Real hard time. Yeah, man.
And the people of Jamaica must start brace for hard times.
Hard times, yeah, man. Trust me. Hard times are ahead. Anybody who tell you differently, I lie them at you.
Ralston, why is it though that we are so afraid of ourselves? Why is it we are afraid to produce the things that Jamaican are known for? Ginger, ganja, feed ourselves.
Because it's simple calling the leadership of the country is bankrupt. Them man don't know about production. Them man don't know about some accounting work them man are doing that.
We're going to be talking to Dr. Deborah Icklin Gordon. Dr. Olivia Rose, because we want to talk about the culture and the creative industry, Ralston. And I just want to pick your brain on it a little bit before you run. I believe that this industry is the industry that can set Jamaica on a solid economic path in Ralston.
Colin, you're spot on. That is what I'm saying. What we need to do is to integrate that with the food industry, which is agriculture, integrate that with the tourism industry, integrate that with agro-processing, because those are the things that are in demand from Jamaica by the rest of the world.
We can compete with anybody in them sector there.
In those things,
BPO, Ralston, BPO is not going to help us.
No, man, it's shaking, man. It's shaking.
And it's going down.
Shaking, yeah, man, shaking.
Can the government find 30 billion Jamaican dollars, Ralston, to invest in the creative industry? You think that we have that space?
So rather than have these high primary surpluses, of course, the better use of the money.
So we can find $30 billion
Yeah,
because I am saying that if Jamaica invests $30 billion in the culture and the creative industry, set up the infrastructure that we need to export our culture, we can start earning upwards of $10 billion US dollars annually. After 5 years, we should be earning about $30 billion.
Yeah, man, them can do it, man. Them can find the money, man.
The fiscal space is there.
Them borrow money to do all kind of foolishness. So, all right, look at them. The vote buying exercise is 11 billion alone. If they pump 11 billion in the creative industry, that would be a big start.
Of course.
That's the point I'm making.
So it's not just in agriculture.
It's not a money problem. It's a vision problem.
Where the leaders lack vision, the people perish.
Lot of vision, man. Yeah, man.
Ralston man, thanks for another informative Saturday morning, my brother. We'll be in touch. God bless and keep you, my friend.
Blessed love. Yeah, man. Cool.
Yes, man. Yeah. My people, wanna hear it. Ralston man. Morning and welcome to Portland Spice TV.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Yeah.
Talk to me.
Yeah, man, man, talk. Yeah, you know, one time here, you know nobody else from outside coming and represent the people of Portland.
Okay, yeah.
And you put up yourself.
Yeah.
As the MP aspirant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you run on PNP ticket as a councillor. Here as a councillor of Fairgrant Valley.
Yeah, man, we know all of that. Go to the point. All of my listeners, them know all of what you talk about. So go to the point where you want to get to.
So tell me something now. All of a sudden, they remove you from the thing there. I'm in a different man. And you did say nobody else not to come.
Yeah, man, but I know me have the angle. I know my party, you know. The party is the People's National Party, and it have different layers of decision makers.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so the decision makers of the party made that decision that somebody else would be better to win. It would be easier to win the seat than I am.
So why you think you couldn't? I'm telling you something.
No, man, hold on, man. It's not about what I think.
No,
as I said,
tell you something. You know, sir, if you did Lego one of them things, they say, and hold on for one, say you Lego the council, and hold on for the NP aspirant.
Maybe would have still be there. Yeah, man.
You know, say you would be there today?
Possibly. Not a must, but possibly.
You will be there today?
Yeah, possibly. So my mistake. No, accepted.
You will be there today because you have some little plan the way, you know?
Yeah.
People are looking into it and I watch you and but the moment you go take on the two thing one time.
And lose.
Yes. That
man.
is the reason why they give the green light, you know.
I will not do green light, you know. I do red light.
What kind of green light?
I do red light, then give me.
And that's why they give you.
The red light.
Red means.
Red means stop. You know, that's why they stop me from going forward.
Oh?
That's why
I heard you say.
That's why they stop me from going forward.
No, I heard you say you are not getting the support from the councillors. I heard you said that.
Yeah, man.
Upon your resignation, you say you are not getting the support from the councillors. So me I wonder how was councillor them because it is only two councillors.
Then
on your side and the rest are on the other side. So me I wonder if you expect the other side councillor them did
to support me? Yes, man, of course, yes.
No, me not think so. I think I hear two councillors.
Then what kind of question that you ask? If you ask a stupid question, you get a stupid answer.
Then all right, me ask a stupid question, me get a stupid answer. So me I look for right now.
Me agree with you, man. I heard. We should have give up one of them for true. That's a possibility. But that's
that
not
is
that
where you put your foot in your mouth, you know.
that wasn't a guarantee still, but it's a possibility that
Yeah,
and then here the
where
next
you put
part.
your foot in your mouth.
If me did win the council seat, I would still be there too. So
yeah, I know that. Yeah,
right.
you will be there.
That's how it go,
you
man.
will be there.
You see, we take responsibility, you know, brother. We not blame nobody. We accept responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
We still hold on for me. We're going to be having Dr. Olivia Rose, Dr. Deborah Icklin Gordon. We're waiting on the host for the next segment of the show. Conrad O'Brien will be hosting the next segment of the show, and I will be a guest along with my team, my senior, Dr. Deborah Icklin, and the junior shadow minister, Dr. Olivia Rose. Myself is the deputy shadow minister of culture and the creative industry. So we're going to be having a discussion on that. We're just waiting on Conrad. Continue.
Where's the shadow minister?
Yeah, I'm the deputy shadow minister of culture and the creative industry. We have also the shadow minister. Where? What do you mean where? In Jamaica?
Yeah, but you said the deputy shadow minister. But you don't understand that.
You don't understand that?
Mm-mm.
So the opposition names what is called a shadow cabinet.
Yeah, I know that.
Then if you don't know that, we don't understand.
So you are the shadow minister?
I am the deputy shadow minister.
My God. I don't know, me here I interview with you on the opposition leader. Mm-hmm. And the man just come out and say, Comrade Bell.
Mm-hmm.
The man should address you better than that, man.
How you mean address me better than that?
How you mean, just Comrade Bell?
Then that's how we address each other as comrades.
No, man.
That's the protocol.
No, it should be
so
more...
You call him
someone more professional.
All right, my brother. All right, my brother. I hear you.
Yeah, it should sound more professional, man.
Okay.
It sound like they don't count you.
All right.
So you are the councillor caretaker of Rio Grande Valley?
Yeah, man, I'm still the councillor caretaker.
So you will be going back?
There's a lot of time between that and now.
So 4 years, 4.5
exactly, whole heap of time that.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to make no commitment no.
But anyway, you know what more than do for you?
Yeah.
Because you sing for your cup of tea hard, you know.
I sing for my cup of tea?
Yes, man, you sing hard for your cup of tea, man. Well, so you know what more than do for you now?
Yeah.
More than put in at the Senate.
All right, me hear you.
Make your vote, they're going to make more nice.
All right, my boss, I hear you.
All right.
When God make heaven and earth, I speak them into being. So you are one of those who believe that word is wind. I know that word sound is power. But may I go to that segment of the program here? Give thanks, my brother. Respect. Morning, team. Let me put on Dr. Rose. Morning, team.
Good morning.
You're sure.
Hi, morning, Colin.
There
Colin?
Yes, Obi, you're sure.
Oh, all right. Okay, so let's get going. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Dr. Rose, Dr. Hicklin, and of course, Colin Bell. My name is Conrad O'Brien, host Straight Up News Talk 93 FM Mondays and Tuesdays. And my duty this morning is to host this segment of the program here. And Portland Spice TV, always a pleasure being here on the platform. I want to say hi to the listeners and viewers here at home in Jamaica and indeed across the diaspora and the globe generally. It's another beautiful Saturday morning here in Jamaica. And, you know, this morning we'll be looking at the creative industry, in particular, the insurance plan that the Minister, Babs Green, has just put in place for the entertainers and people who work in the creative industry. Let me go on record, first of all, to say that personally, I disagree with it. I don't think that the government remit is to be paying for insurance for entertainers who are making millions of dollars. They must take their responsibility seriously. I start off by saying that. Dr. Hicklin,
Yes, sir.
what do you make of it? I know that the minister said that over the past few years, or maybe last year, we had some entertainers that passed on, and about 70% of them did not have any insurance and so on, and there was a difficulty in burying them. You know, as a matter of fact, to use her term, she said they had to go around with cap in hand, and she don't want to go that route again. Do you believe that this is the government remit to put an insurance in place for entertainers rather than encouraging the entertainers to be responsible and to put this in place? Before you come in, is it a kind of curry favoring because of what we saw with the Vibes Cartel, for example, and generally the entertainers are somewhat with the People's National Party? So this is a moment in time that the minister and by extension the government is using to basically curry favor and see how best they can capture a segment of the entertainment industry.
So you've asked two questions. Yeah. The first is a policy question. What do I think about the scheme? The second is a political question. Right? So let's go with the policy question first. I believe that the cultural and creative industries is a nascent, a new set of industries. It's not new activities. We've been doing culture and creative and cultural expression forever. But in terms of the formation of industries, it's relatively new. In that regard, and because of the phase of development of our cultural and creative practitioners and the levels of precarity, what do I mean by that? The problems that they face in their everyday lives, the challenges that they face in terms of getting things done, the issues that exist in creating an industry. I have no problem with a government creating a facility which allows creatives to take responsibility for their own lives. And that is why I believe that this system is a good one, but is unsustainable in its design. So therefore, what there needs to be is a contributory path for those cultural and creative practitioners. What do I mean by that? If the government sets up an insurance scheme in the way that it has for sport, I don't have a difficulty for that, because what it has is what it does is it provides a platform for those creatives who are not in an organized space to be able to organize themselves in that regard. But they must be encouraged to contribute to that for the reasons that you give, first of all, and second of all, to make the scheme sustainable. So let's move to the second question. Do I believe it's an issue of curry favor? There are some indications that that is the case, and I'll give you one example. There was a big brouhaha recently when entertainer Vibes Cartel appeared on the PNP stage for their national conference. Both Dr. Rose and I were at the event, and we saw where special arrangements were made for Vibes Cartel. Seats were left for him, and he was allowed to come and sit at the very front, and he was a special guest of the minister. Now, there's one perspective. This is an entertainment event. Why not? He's due there. But the issue is that there's a level of hypocrisy that exists with regards to the challenges that were put forward to Vibes Cartel being on the stage. So yes, it is clear that there is a move towards the People's National Party by the artists. It is clear that they are seeing the challenges, and it's the artists who usually do and who are most vocal. And I would say that it is absolutely clear that there is the need to try and create an environment in which it is seen that the government is open to changing changing the precarity issues for cultural and creative industries. But it's
Indeed. Indeed. Thanks for that. Maybe the only difference that we saw at this function is that no Vibes Cartel was a new man creating in terms of he was now done in suit and tie. So maybe it's more palatable. It's more palatable.
Well, the truth of the matter is he has tickets to sell for his show. So he needs to position himself in a particular place that makes him palatable to the entire market. That's
absolutely, and respect Vibes. I know maybe his surrogates may be watching. Respect Vibes. Bless up. One love. Gaza. Dr. Rose, I am going to put the same question to you, but I want to say that in the main, the scheme that put in place, I have no issue with the scheme because there are organizations. You put these things together in an organized way. It's a similar thing that you would have the school plan, various plans, and so on. What I'm in sync with Dr. Icklin is to say that it should be contributory base. Because I believe that there are people in our society that are much more vulnerable than entertainer that would need this kind of free lunch, so to speak, rather than our entertainers. What say?
The numbers don't show that. 50% of our cultural and creative practitioners are amongst the working poor.
What I'm saying to you, that's why I'm saying to you that the plan should be set in a format that those who can contribute. Why would you want to put a cartel, whoever it is, on a plan like this who can make a contribution? Look out for those who are at the bottom and by all means put them on the grid. But why do you have a broad-based situation like this?
All right, so thank you so much for that question. I do believe that this initiative is a commendable one. And when I initially listened to you about it should not be free. I wanted to agree with you, but then considering the challenges and vulnerabilities of the creatives in particular, I was hesitant to make that suggestion as well. What we're commending is the policy that's currently is being launched, but there needs to be way more clarity in terms of the benefit clarity, the age range that I'm remembering off the top of my head.
From 6 to 75 at the minute with our option of going to 99.
Right, and that is why the absence of clarity regarding the premiums or requirements for this extension, that's the age extension, should be made known to us, as well as the financial sustainability, which Dr. Hicklin was mentioning earlier, because whilst we do acknowledge that there are peculiarities which impact the creatives, and there are some who are extremely vulnerable, and it takes a while before they start really making some money, there are those who are not in that category and could contribute to helping to sustain this very needed policy. And there also needs to be some clarification regarding the health coverage aspect of it, because it's currently only covers physical health issues, and mental health is very critical and crucial, especially given the challenges and mental health issues that creatives are more predisposed to experience.
I have more than a passing interest in this sector because I've worked in the insurance business for a long time, put a number of these plans in. And that's why I mentioned the whole business of the sustainability with this. And you're onto something there, because mental health, we're seeing people who work within the creative industries, sports even, so on, and we see them on the street. Colin, what say you on the same questions that were put forward so far?
Welcome everybody. this insurance thing, I like the idea. I don't like how it is structured. Because for me, I don't think our entertainers need to be begging or suffering the way they are. But it is a lack of that facilitating the kind of environment to make them strive. So therefore, setting up this is a good idea. But like Dr. Ickling said earlier, and like you have been indicating, that all the government should have done is put a start and entertainers pay for their insurance. So once you work, you pay, because I understand that it would have to be different from the regular insurance monthly payment, because a lot of our entertainers don't work like that. You have some entertainers who work 3 or 4 times for the year, but what they work that 3 or 4 times for the year may be equivalent to a teacher working 5 or 6 years to work that.
Mm-hmm.
So when you work, you pay. So it have to be different. But if government create the kind of environment that our entertainers can strive, I don't think we would even need to be arranging this for them. You know, because as you know, Conrad, and everybody on this platform know that I believe that this is the industry. This is the $1 trillion industry that Jamaica is most competitive in. We do well in tourism, but I don't even think as a nation we have even assessed our tourism industry. We have not assessed the culture and the creative industry, and we have not assessed the tourism industry. Because how many people know that Jamaica is only earning about 0.03% of what the tourism industry is valued? Just like we're earning about 0.04% of what the culture and the creative industry is valued. We're not earning not even 0.1% of any of these.
Good.
Conrad, before you move on to another question, I want to make it very clear what our official position is. We think it's a good thing, 1. 2, we believe it needs to be there needs to be an optional contributory scheme. We recognize that there are those who, once assessed, are not in a position, and this is a step up and a start for them. But those who can afford it based on the assessments, when you register on the registry, you have to put all your tax requirements, all of your TRN, so they are clear about who is earning what based on what they declare, right? So there is a means by which they can be assessed to determine whether they are able to contribute to that scheme. Those who are in a position not to contribute can be assisted in this sort of way. Those who are not should be asked to contribute to the scheme.
Absolutely. So I think it is fair for me to say that all of us on the platform here, including myself, agree on the principle and understanding that there is a need for this sort of scheme, organized way. It is probably more easier to get people registered and so on. So we agree with this. We agree with the concept of the plan. But as it is,
not necessarily the entire concept, but the idea.
Yes,
as
it is. And Colin also mentioned something there that is quite germane to the discussion about how entertainers earn. And that is why, for example, with these plans, you normally have annual payment, quarterly payment, or half-yearly payment. And it's always suggests that people who earn in a particular way exercise the best option for themselves. So that is something there. The 3 of you are practicing politicians, so your ears should be on the ground. What are you hearing so far from the entertainment industry as it relates to this plan?
Senior, you go first.
Dr. Rose?
I want my senior to go first on this one.
I saw yesterday a comment from Jaria, Mr. Ewan Simpson, who is, I think, the president of Jaria, the Jamaica Artists and Reggae something, He he was very clear that it needs to be a contributory scheme. He's very clear and he's worried about the sustainability. So I think there will be some people who will be excited by the idea, which is what Colin speaks about, and will be absolutely enthusiastic about the notion of a free insurance policy. But I think there are others who are cautious and are seeking to determine what is it that's behind it and how will it work, as Dr. Rose said. In terms of the lack of information. I have spoken to 2 actuaries in the last couple of days, and they have so many questions. I won't bother raise all of them here. But one of the things one of them said to me yesterday is, this scheme will require 100 people to die in order to exhaust it in a year, and it's hardly likely that is going to happen. For the benefits to be exhausted in a single year. The question is, are we going to be paying 55 million every year?
That's the question. That is the question. That is the question.
The anticipation that 100 people are going to die. That's not going to happen. So it seems to me to be a bit of a gift, both to the industry and to the underwriters.
You know, I tell you something.
Obi, beg you a minute. But I don't think we should squander this $55 million. I think somebody need to step in now and get it sorted out. And I am hoping, Dr. Ickling, that we may be in power before it run out. So I think we should start planning to fix it.
What the actuary tells me is it's not going to run out. It can't run out because 100 people are not going to die before. 100 people on this. Well, first of all, 100 people won't be registered. Well, maybe there will be, but there won't be 100 deaths from the registered people on the scheme between now and the time when the next payment is due.
But the question you asked earlier is critical. The government going to continue to do the payments? That's the critical part.
I'm going to share something with you. Every facet of the Jamaican economy and life, workplace, etc., you have people who are in pole position to politicians and so on. Although we saw the head of Guardian Life basically in on this plan is underwritten through an agent. And it is clear, in my view, that an agent today, an underwriter, advisors, they're now called, is laughing all the way to the bank. And it would be quite instructive to note who is the agent, who is the person who get this business. So that does it mean. It's a very, very important question there. Why would we be extending this amount of money in this way rather than just basically put the plan in place, look at those who are most vulnerable and so on, and allow other people to come on? So have an open scheme, for example, an open scheme, and people are registered at their own behest and take it from there. I have some serious issues with that.
All right. So just to piggyback on what you've said, and the primary reason I think behind this initiative that we are commending in part, please, is the fact that a lot of the creatives do not know about money management or insurance policies, or just basic information that would help them to set up these plans on their own. And so definitely we are welcoming this, but we are also welcoming more the empowerment of people, not to handicap them or enable them, but more to put educational programs out there so that creatives are aware of opportunities for themselves, that they can set up their own plans on their own. And in fact, there was an element that was mentioned that because this is a basic coverage, given the fact that it is free to the creatives, the additional coverage that they'd require, which are also very crucial, they were encouraged to do those on their own. But I do welcome the open scheme policy whereby they can go on their own and have these initiatives. But for the moment, because there's a lack of education in terms of how they can do and set up these policies, this is the umbrella initiative. Are there amendments that can be made to it so that it is more financially sustainable and it doesn't enable, or as you said, send an agent laughing and smiling all the way to the bank? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Dr. Hicklin, as far as you are aware, this plan, does it have a component to it that could be an investment component to it that would be that individual, the entertainers now can basically add to it, so that not just in terms of death or illness, but up on reaching a certain age, they would be able to draw down on anything. Not what the government would be contributing now, but certainly a sort of rider to this plan. Are you aware if there is such?
Dr. Hicklin, maybe you're muted.
Mm-hmm. Do you know that that is one of the exact questions that one of the actuaries asked me? Mm-hmm. And the truth of the matter is, when they were throwing the questions at me, I couldn't answer any of them because that information is not available. We don't know. We've not been told by the government. We don't. In fact, they said to me, send me the document, the contract, the insurance contract, so that I can have a look at it. I don't think those details have been made available. And to be fair, I'm not sure they would be made available at a press launch. Yeah, but subsequently, we would need to be able to see that information to see whether the money is being invested in the best possible way.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I also wanted to piggyback on something that Olivia said, Dr. Rose said, and that is the issue of financial literacy. We really need to be focusing on financial literacy for creatives to allow them to learn more about this issue of money management. But there's another side of it that Colin said. We need to be looking at creative literacy for financiers so that they can be creating those instruments like the insurance policy. So maybe the insurance people should have said, so ministry, I know what you want to do. I know you want to be able to encourage cultural and creative industries to join the registry, but here's how we think that it can work. Yeah, we will create those instruments that will allow for annual, half yearly, quarterly payments based on the fact that cultural and creative practitioners work in a gig economy, have 3 activities a year. So that's the kind of focus that the government needs to do, having made this overture. That's my perspective.
But Colin, you're a practitioner, as it were. This is an opening salvo from the government in terms of the insurance aspect of it. This is something happen and so on, then there will be a drawdown on it. Players within the industry are trying to find their footing. Can you think of any creative measures that you would like to see the government come up with, so that, fledgling practitioners or even people who are in the business for some time now could benefit from, so that we could see real throughput and real benefit from this orange economy, as it were?
Yeah, Obi, the issue though is that if we create that environment,
mm-hmm.
and allow our creatives to really earn, they could be better able to take care of themselves. One of the things though that has been mentioned by my colleague.
Yeah, man, that's why I'm asking if you think there's what would you suggest?
Yeah, man, so I'm getting there. But one of the things that we've been mentioning is economic education. When people start making money, some of the things that you need to do so as to take care of yourself in the long run, because in Jamaica we say nothing lasts forever. Uncle good salvation. and you may be making a lot of money today, so you have to make some preparation for tomorrow when you're not making a lot of money. And like I said to a young man one time, that one sickness can wipe out all your little savings. So it is important to have that level of insurance. However, where Jamaica is though, we do not look after our creatives. We do not look out for them.
And Colin, I think you're missing what I'm saying. I am saying that we understand all of that, and we know that what happened, there are things, for example, the sickness and the death and so on. The insurance that put in place, that is to deal with that. I am asking, outside of illness, death and so on, our creative persons within the industry need assistance, need help. And this is for all three of you. Where you think the government should be going in terms of really build out this industry so that these people can now start making the real money and so on?
I think I can help with that.
Mm-hmm.
2 or 3 things. First of all, what we know is that cultural and creative practitioners, they don't want to depend on handouts. They want to be able to earn their way, and they need, in order to do that, they need jobs. So they need to be doing their activities within their independent spheres, but they need to be earning for it. A lot of creators give away their talent. They give away their effort. So what we need to be doing is creating some form of platform that allows, and I have one in mind, but I'm not giving it away. It's something that Colin and I have spoken extensively about, that allows us to ensure that cultural and creative practitioners, more cultural and creative practitioners, are hired and paid. And this may include partnerships with the private sector. That's the first thing, incentivizing the private sector to take on cultural and creative activity. The second is putting in place what we call an enabling environment program. And that simply says we need to be doing business development. So we need to be looking at each one of the subsectors and developing them. We need to be looking at export development, which means we need to be finding markets. It upset me every time we come to this time of the year. I get very upset because what happens is all the artists and artisans are running around the country, setting up a table at places like Devon House or at wherever, having a potter's fair and so on. We need to be enabling our creatives to sell their products and services on global markets and creating a domestic space for markets. Went to Cuba the other day, and there is a beautiful, there's a lovely artisans market that is available. We have the craft market downtown. Why aren't we creating a beautiful artisans market that individuals can participate in? Last night we saw the show, The Big Fight. Why aren't we creating opportunities to create international shows that we're showing on local platforms using our athletes? Did you see the production last night? Did you guys see the production last night, Olivia?
So elements of it, because I saw the reviews this morning. It was clearly a big thing.
I totally missed that a while ago, Dr. Eichlin. The production of
the Big Fight last night.
Oh,
my husband was watching the fight. I was watching the production, right?
Yeah.
And I was very, very clear. Can you imagine if we had the venues to do productions like that, and we were to bring in and we create now the show, Colin Bell versus Mike Tyson, and it's a made-for-TV production, yeah? And the thousands of people that would employ, and the intellectual property.
Let me just assist you there, Dr. Eichlin. I said to somebody the other day that one of the things that we don't understand in Jamaica, that culture is a product. And just like a man who makes seasoning for sell, he need a package for the seasoning. So him get a bucket. The bucket is film. Film is how you package culture for export. Now, we're not going to tell them on this platform what is the medium of the exportation. But we as Jamaicans now need to start package culture into film, using our people as the talent, and really, that's how you really develop that creative industry, Conrad, where you export the culture, sell it abroad for US dollars. And that will now bring up our export bill, because we are exporting maybe a third of what we are importing into this country. And that's how we can earn that $30 billion when you start exporting the culture to the world. The world craves Jamaican culture. And that's how our creatives will start making real money from what we have here in Jamaica.
I want to go to the youngest of us all on the platform, Dr. Rose. Dr. Rose,
Yes.
you are, do you attend a lot of parties?
Well, in my capacity now, I have to attend more than when I was younger, but I'm at most of these events, yes.
All right. You need to take me along with you. But I'm asking you, your interaction with the younger population, the younger demographics and so on. What are you hearing from them? What are they desirous of in terms of, what would they like to see? They want to see. Is there a crave for entertainment space? What kind of entertainment? What are they saying? What are you picking up out there?
Well, what I'm picking up is that one, they want to be respected, and the respect is where it's lacking. And respect means a lot of different things and manifesting different actions, such as having security in terms of stability in terms of their employment, right? And being treated with the same level of respect again, like other practitioners in the industry or even other practitioners outside of the industry. So, like for instance, I'll use an example with the comedy creatives. They are not respected in the way that they should be and that they can be. Many of them, just like other creatives, do a lot of free work, as Dr. Hicklin was mentioning, simply because people promise to pay them after the show, or if the show is sold out, or they're very haphazard contractual arrangements and agreements for them, simply because some of them again do not know or have the knowledge in terms of what they should or shouldn't accept in the space, because they are also very vulnerable in terms of wanting to work and earn. So it's very easy for them to just say, all right, I'll take this job, and so on. As it relates to venues and just proper setting up of events, there are tertiary institutions that offer these programs formally, and people actually have studied to become event planners, cultural and entertainment managers, etc., etc. And they have to, like any other profession, work to earn the respect. Some of them are also overly entitled. Let me also include that. But for the most part, what's happening is that they want some form of acknowledgement of their space in the pie, right? They want to be seen as and considered with more respect, but some of them don't know how to gain that, and some of them also allow others to exploit them. But at the end of the day, what I also get is that once we have better spaces and venues, I've gone to other places where there are established venues for them to express themselves and earn, then that helps in building the type of opportunity for them to gain and earn more respect. So, and the party scene will always happen. We will always have informal people trying here and there, but generally, it's, for me, what I have observed is that they want to feel a sense of respect in the space that they are pursuing a profession and a career.
All right. Thanks for that. It is clear that we're in campaign season, right? From now until whenever the Prime Minister decides to ask the Governor General to prorogue the Parliament and go to the polls. It's campaign season. Colin and Dr. Hickley, and of course yourself, Dr. Rose, you're convinced that the growth sector, or certain what I mean growth sector in Jamaica, is the orange economy, the creative and cultural sector of Jamaica. Therefore, policy positions are important. I think it is safe for me to say that we have pretty much the nucleus of the team here. Debbie being the chief person, Deborah rather being the chief person, Colin, and you, Dr. Rose, the junior spokesperson. So we have three very powerful persons in this space who will be, who should be plotting the graph and so on. Where are you on this? Do you have a task force that you already pulled together and really looking at things? So if and when the people decide to give the PNP a turn at the wicket, you'll be able to hit the ground running? Dr. Colin first, and then Dr.
The senior first.
All right, Dr. Aiken. Dr. Aiken.
Absolutely. The first thing we did is we put together a task force. We have a task force of about 15 people. We just had a retreat recently in which we put some of the final touches on our complete plan. There is one element that we need to focus in on, but I'm not going to be based on where we are and what we've been speaking about in the shadow cabinet. We'll be bringing that information shortly, right? In a very kind of streamlined way. But be clear, we have a comprehensive, progressive plan that is both technical and practical. It has all of the elements from the issues of ethos, who we are, what we need to be thinking about, those issues that came out about the heroes and the holidays, right down to the very practical nitty-gritty that speaks about the activities that that we're going to be putting in place. One of the things that is going to distinguish us as a party is our emphasis on community. And this is something that Colin knows a lot about, and ensuring that we are emphasizing entertainment, culture, and creative activity within communities. That's an important part of it, but I'm not telling you anything more until we are in a position so to do. But except to say,
Obi,
be very clear that we have a plan.
We are ready to hit the ground running. And as you rightfully say, we believe that the orange economy is where Jamaica is most competitive on the global stage. We have not been competing, though. We have basically just been existing in what we are earning from this industry. The industry is valued at last check about $3.4 trillion annually. And as I mentioned earlier about the tourism industry, where we're not earning what we think we could be earning from the tourism industry. We have not been earning what is possible from the culture and the creative industry. We want to aim within our first term to get as close to that 1%, just 1%. And I am sure that everybody listening believes that if you look at the talent across the world in the culture and the creative industry, everybody would agree that Jamaica is just as talented, as Jamaicans are just talented as anybody else around the world. And therefore, if we do the right things, just like other countries are earning from the culture and the creative industry, we can earn our fair share. I mean, Mexico is really the biggest earner in Latin America and the Caribbean. They are earning 15 billion US annually from the culture and the creative industry. And I am saying that we in Jamaica should look to get our own. And Obi, I am aiming for $30 billion annually. And if you even say me wrong, I'm bust it in a half. And we earn 15 billion or even 10 billion annually from the culture and the creative industry. That will set the Jamaican economy on the right path. We will start earning our way out of this debt that we are in. So invest in our people. That's what them tell me when I go to school, that Jamaica's biggest asset is its people. But we have never really focused on investing in our people. So from where we sit, we are pushing that our administration will look into this and focus on this and invest. I asked Ralston earlier if there's fiscal space for Jamaica to invest 30 billion Jamaican, not US, 30 billion Jamaican in the culture and the creative industry.
And he said we can find it.
The fiscal space is there for it. And I'm saying if we invest that over 3 years, we can start earning the money I'm talking about. Dr. Clark get a snippet of something, you know. I don't know if you remember him saying I put $1 billion in the film industry over 3 years. It needs much more than that, Dr. Clark. It needs infrastructure development.
He is no longer here. Him find greener pastures. So talk to Favor.
Well, I don't know if Favor even understand it, but let's hear if we hear. Let's listen.
No, don't diss her. Don't diss her. Give her the respect.
No, it's not this. Conrad, I will say this, you know. None of our past leaders and present leaders have really understood the culture and the creative industry. And that's why we are here talking about making this money that we should have been making a long time. Not when we are talking about no new in the business, you know. Everything that we can use to make this money has been there for many years. Countries have been making the money. US have $700 billion annually.
So you're saying that both governments have fallen down on the job.
Both sides. So it's not this favor.
All right, cool. So, Dr. Rose? Doc?
Unmute.
Hello?
Doc.
Oh, sorry. Yes, you had asked a question about task force. If we have, we definitely have, and we've been working alongside a team of practical and academical professionals and practitioners in the space. So we're not just willy-nilly thinking of how we're gonna make it possible for creatives and better for creatives. We have actually a combination, an eclectic team of expertise working with. And of course, sometimes I do not like the times at which we have to meet, but we have to meet to get the matters done, right? So they know that I am the one that, I don't like certain times in the morning, but we are really of course working to ensure that along with the senior and deputy, that we are able to tap into the orange economy better and to be able to have greater results and financial opportunities from this space, by also primarily enabling people to help themselves. And what do we mean by that? Educational promotion of financial management and just management overall in the industry, because it's a real business, which we all know, that needs to be taken way more seriously. So definitely we do have a task force, sir, and we are ready as soon as that time presents itself, which will be soon.
What you said? Time soon come. Time soon come. Well, you know what I'm getting from the three of you. Sorry, what I'm getting from the three of you is certainly that you are shovel ready. And I think this is music to the ears of the Jamaican people. You know, I can understand for political reasons so on. You don't want to give everything and at this time and this platform, but in due season, you will. I've been getting a few questions on my other gadget from persons who are listening. And one of the questions that's coming in is something to do with the tourism sector. I know there is a line ministry for that, but nonetheless, they are putting the question to say that since the tourism sector is one of those areas that seems to be booming at this time, certainly even by way of numbers that we have seen over the years, how do you plan to leverage that in terms of getting and I'm putting the question in my way now because it's just sort of truncated here, listener. What are you planning to do to get the community tourism, that kind of thing, where we're seeing more tourists at the jerk stop, say anywhere in any community, say in Confidence Avenue, Greenville, where I'm from, in Mike Town, in Linstead, all over, we're seeing tourism in these places so our people can truly benefit from the tourism dollar. Anything on that in terms of dovetailing within the line Ministry of Tourism? Deborah?
Absolutely. There has always been this issue of what we call linkages between culture and creative industries and the tourism industry. In fact, that issue of linkages is something that was emphasized within the tourism master plan, which was completed by Most Honorable Portia Simpson Miller, in terms of creating a plan for the development of tourism that focused very heavily on community tourism. Shadow Minister for Tourism, Janice Allen, has been speaking extensively about community tourism and about cultural tourism. There are about 3 or 4 different kinds of tourism that interface with culture: heritage tourism, creative tourism, etc. The point of the matter is that there is a plan to dovetail the two, and you heard me speak about issues to do with placing emphasis on the communities. And going back to best practices, there was a time, I don't know if you remember, Conrad, when we had a festival in every town: shrimp festival, banana festival, jerk festival, etc. in every town. And it used to generate activity within communities. We have to go back to that model where those kind of activities are enabled so that we can get our community people involved in the cultural and creative economy. It has moved into a place now where we have things like round robins and fish fries that are a huge part of the economic generation within communities. But there also has to be a way in which we kind of broaden that with a community emphasis, which in its own brings tourists, because the tourists want to come out of the hotels in order to go to places that are safe, and that's another issue, the issue of safety. But that's a whole other
big issue, major.
Right, but certainly that integrated approach is a huge part of where we are going in terms of many of the sectors, and tourism is a very, very important one.
Good. Colin, one direct question for you, Colin. You can answer this, Colin, because people are zeroing on you right here. So they say you're a Portland man, and they say Boston gone to tatters. So dovetail what you're saying and answer that as it relates to Boston as well.
I'll answer your last question first. As it relates to Boston, those are the things that why I enter into politics. There are a lot of things in East Portland that needs fixing, and you need to get into government to assist in fixing these things. Boston is one of them. I have said it a long time. We need to bulldoze the area and reconstruct and set up Boston that it can look like the name that it about abroad. But what I want, Dr. Icklin, touch a little bit on it and walk away from it. But tourism, Conrad, one of the things that the culture and the creative industry can do for tourism, and if you look at America, it is really the creative industry that promotes tourism in America, and we must use that to do the same in Jamaica. We have not been doing it. Crime is one of the reasons why we are not earning much more than we could be earning from tourism. The culture and the creative industry is what will allow young men and women to earn big bucks that them now have to chop and them now have to scam. So when you really step up this culture and the creative industry, the young men and young women who are looking to drive something big, own a big house, look after mama, and the only way them see now is scamming.
Take care of them girl. Don't leave out the part there.
Take care of your girl and take care of your youth. The culture and the creative industry is the way to replace scamming. Because as I always tell people, it is only in the culture and the creative industry.
All girls take care of them guys too.
Me not that. Me not promote that. Take care of them girls. And girls take care of them guys. Yeah, because girls do take care of the guys too. Right, Dr. Rose? So, yeah, but to take care of your family, the culture and the creative industry offers that escape. And the thing with the culture and the creative industry, it is inclusive. Everybody.
And it's not insensitive, as you like to say, Colin.
No,
it's not
even a 5-year-old can become a millionaire. And people don't understand when I say this. When a 5-year-old plays a role in a movie, they get paid. And they are paid well. So that's
and that
what
is
mean
why,
when we say a
the
5-year-old can
insurance
become a
policy,
millionaire.
and that is why the insurance policy that we talked about earlier, if you see it mentioned from age 6 to 75.
Of course. And even younger than that, So what I'm saying, Conrad, is that the culture and the creative industries are way out of crime for our young men not to look at crime. If we have less crime in Jamaica, we're going to have more tourists. And if we have more and better entertainment and the venue, the facility, more people will come to Jamaica. If you look at a place like Barbados, look at the Bahamas, they don't have what we have. But more people go there for the safety that Dr. Ickling mentioned. So when we get our youths to be looking at this avenue and leaving crime, leaving the gun, a man can't pay you if you go kill a man no more because your pocket, you have a bank account where you just play a role or you just hit a big tune or somebody just use your place for film something. That's all the possibilities that entails in the culture and the creative industry. So it is what drives tourism. New York is in about 1 out of every 8 movie will come out of the US. So them now spend the money to advertise New York as a tourism destination. It is already advertising all your movies, all your videos and all of that already. So that's where we need to take Jamaica. So the creative in the RNG economy is directly, I like to tell people that we are, the tourism industries, we are a customer to the tourism industry and vice versa.
So the linkage there, Dr. Rose, we at a time in Jamaica, we grew up knowing where people used to talk about doctor, lawyer, Indian chief, and those were basically what everybody strived to be a part of. What are you picking up now? Are you picking up that there are more educated people who are getting into this orange economy and more parents are more liberal, more understanding to say that, listen, people can make even more money looking at these new profession, new area within the creative industry? How is that being accepted at this time?
It's been accepted on a very large scale, especially by parents. And I also am the junior for sports. So it's also very similar in terms of, and probably so different now, where back even when in my time, when I was in school, there were certain professions
when was that? Yesterday?
were yes, I know there were certain professions that were just considered were only the ideal professions back then. But now what I have been experiencing is that one, a lot of parents now are encouraging their children to be a part of the RNG economy and even an extension sports as well. So sometimes that's good and that's bad. But what we've now understood that this is a real viable way and means of earning a living, a meaningful living, and honest bread too. And again, it goes back to shifting our perspective on the respect that these individuals should get in this space. But a part of that respect will also come from how creatives in the space conduct business. And a lot of times they are the reason for the disrespect that they experience because they may not be on time, or as you know, the thing about the creative industry is that it's so fluid. So we are here to help them to not to take away that fluidity, but to have some form of structure so that they are respected more, and so that more people will be encouraged to want to be in this space in a serious way. Or you said to your mom, oh, I want to be an actor or an actress, and that is something that they'll encourage you and find and research ways in which you can become that. I think what happened before is that we didn't have some of the access to information as well, and then also seeing how social media influencers are able to tap into using content again to establish themselves in this space has also caused a shift. And yes, to establish themselves is earning is part of that establishment. And so there is now that shift, but it doesn't mean, and I'd like to emphasize, it doesn't mean that the mainstream professions are not important, and same creatives will have to employ accountants and other persons who have done different types of training to help them in their own industry. So it's a real it's an ecosystem of which we're all a part, and we play our role in different ways.
Dr. Icklin, you're in the space in more ways than one, from an academic standpoint and from a practical standpoint. Could you weigh in, please?
Absolutely. And it actually brings me back to this issue of the insurance scheme. Most of the questions that came out of the launch were people who didn't know where they fit in the cultural and creative industries. And this is why the education that Dr. Rose speaks about is so very important. And this is because the government has not established clearly what it has identified as the cultural and creative industries. So there are about 20 subsectors, and they are wide-reaching, and they are interrelated. They themselves are diverse, but sometimes people like this social media platform and the various bloggers that have come out of this place and vloggers who have come out of this space, they don't see themselves, or they may not be seen as a legitimate part of the creative space. We are very clear that they are new areas of working, and so they need to be included. But they need to be included formally. They need to be named on a list of individuals who are seen to be cultural and creative practitioners. There's another set of changes happening in the media sector, which used to be seen as part of the information landscape, but really are now in a place of providing jobs and creating economic activity. So there's some reclassification that needs to happen. So there are some technical things and there are some practical things, but they all have to be enjoined by policy. There has to be a structured process of moving forward. We can't be doing the arbitrary, this project, that project, where insurance don't match with something else, so that you have people who don't even know that they're involved in the insurance sector. That just shows a fragmentation in the ways that things are being implemented at this current time. This Ministry of Government have a different list of creative practitioners from that agency in government, and it's, we have to get rid of the fragmentation and the confusion. And that's one of the first steps that we need to, make people understand that they are included. Inclusion is a huge part of the problem, just like the issues of respect that Dr. Rose speak about. People need to feel and know and understand where they sit. And this is as much a technical issue as it is a communication issue. We have to sort out structurally where we're going and what we're doing and who's involved.
Absolutely. Dr. Rose then used a word just now, the ecosystem. I want to move over to Colin. Colin, just basically line that up for the viewers, the listeners. How all of these, I'm going to use a off word for the ecosystem, how that joined up with everything, all that come together. So you would have more work for the lawyer, more work for the accountant, more work for the person who is in catering, everything coming together. How, paint a picture for us, how more people would come together in this thing called the orange economy.
If you hear the government say we now have the lowest unemployment rate in Jamaica, that should mean that everybody is playing a part. The problem we are having now, though, even though we have low unemployment, is that people are not earning a livable wage. This economy, this orange economy, will increase that livable wage and people will be able to earn more. So yes, the ecosystem will now connect. You will have more lawyers dealing with contracts for entertainers. You'll have more lawyers dealing with copyrights and all of that. You will have even the health sector will now start benefiting because the fact that so much more money will be coming through the economy.
More road managers, more stage managers, all of those things.
And people will now even start traveling with them nurse, because when you have some of these, when you're doing some of these projects in the creative industry, you have ambulance on site, you have doctors on site. So this is what you call the glue that will bring the Jamaican economy together. Because one of the problems with Jamaica is that money now run. People are getting quatty for what people in other countries are getting crazy money for. In Florida, right up the road there, so a person, a LTA nurse that looks after old people makes easily $1,300-1,400 US a week on average. And most of these prices are paid by people who are in the creative industry. So it is what will, as I said, bring the glue to the Jamaican economy, because people are afraid when we say, on average, people who works in the culture and the creative industry in this country when it booms earn easily 50,000 US annually. Those are the lower paying jobs where earn 50,000 US a year. Hold on, let me just clarify that by saying presently in Jamaica, the average man is earning about 6,000 US a year.
Yes, now.
Just to elaborate on what Colin said, in our classification of the cultural and creative industries, we have a sector that we called intermediaries. And those intermediaries, so we are looking at those skills as an economic sector. Those people who are providing those services, the lawyers, the accountants, and it takes us back to this insurance scheme. We need the accountants in order to bring the cultural and creative practitioners to compliance. That's the objective. Yes, so we need more accountants who understand the cultural and creative industries, because it is not the same as every other industry, and every one of the industries has a different value chain and a different supply chain. Fashion don't work the same way as music, don't work the same way as theater, don't work the same way as broadcasting. Each one is different, and you need specialists in that area who are going to make it, who are able to work with the cultural and creative practitioners and ensure that they are compliant, but ensuring that they're also getting the best deals. Sometimes you hear some questions that are asked in financial spaces about cultural and creative industries. We need to be very, very clear that there is a need for creative literacy in as much as there is need for financial literacy. And this is a part of the process. There are lots and lots of people who are not themselves creative, but are a part of this ecosystem that exists.
Because Dr. Ickling, the man who pushed the boxes for set up a production, the man who draw the wires, so all of that and all of those people are a part of that ecosystem.
The soup man who then move from the
gastronomy. Food.
All right, we're wrapping now. But this document here, this voluminous document that I have in hand here, it's my hard copy of the 171 page from the IEC, the Integrity Report.
You're still reading.
Yes, dovetail that, Dr. Hicklin, and all three of you, Dr. Rose Collin, any takeaway from this document as it relates to the creative industry, the orange economy that we have spent our hour plus on?
I'm not clear what document you're talking about.
The IEC Integrity,
report, the IEC report.
You know, you are very funny. Takeaway. I would say, being put on the spot, that there are resources within government that can be more pointedly spent on activities of development, and the cultural and creative industries is in open space for investment of said resources that are going into strange places. That's it.
Dr. Rose?
I think I'll ditto that, ditto, and ditto. But really,
what I will say, Conrad, you see.
Hold on, Dr. Rose saying something. Mm-hmm.
No, I was just saying that we really need to ensure that funds are properly invested and managed in the creative space.
What I will say, Conrad, those are important content for the creative industry, because stuff like that, we need to put them on film. The FinSAC report, the 90s, we need to put them on film and export it and make money from it. That's content. So you have some people right now who are looking at that report and are frown upon it. You know, what side of history will that end up on? Because if we really are serious, you see a lot of movies coming out of America about corrupt president. You have the old movie about what the one name where them did impeach.
But that could be a series.
All of that. So it is content, Conrad.
Absolutely.
That's the takeaway from it. And therefore,
you know, Colin, I thought I would end this way because I think that I'm getting the answers that I need. All the best. Thanks. Thanks for having me hosting this section. Yes. I hope I'd asked the right question, and I hope our listeners, our viewers, are much more informed at the end of this discussion than they were at the start.
Let me officially thank you, sir, for hosting this section of the program. Let me thank my senior, Dr. Deborah Icklin, and my junior, Dr. Olivia Rose. And let me just say to my listeners, do remember to join us Tuesday night. Tuesday night, we have a very, very important guest coming up. I mean, there's going to be so much revelation on Tuesday night on Styles FM and on Caribbean Radio HD over there in the Tri-State. We ask that you join us Tuesday night at 8 p.m. sharp. By Monday, we will release the name of the guest. We're not going to release before, but I can tell you it's going to be massive Conrad, revelation after revelation. Tuesday night, Colin, here. Go ahead, Conrad.
Colin, thanks a lot for that. Just allow me, if I may, on Monday, and my program, Straight Up News Talk 93 FM, we'll be talking, almost piggybacking on this discussion, because we'll be talking about the issues with the tourism workers. Of course, we have seen quite a few strikes took place over the last few weeks. I think the latest one was 2 days ago or 3 days ago.
Yesterday.
My guest will be senior trade unionist and also a spokesperson, senator for opposition Senator Lambert Brown. He will be my guest at 9:35. I would normally have him at 10:10, but based on timing, I'll have him at 9:35. So I'm inviting the listeners.
And that's our New Start 93 FM people.
I'm going to steal a last word too. And the last word is the cultural and creative industries are the industries and expression are the expressions of the people.
Yes.
And that's what they're about, empowering the people of Jamaica here and anywhere else in the world that they work.
You guys have an election to win in Clarendon. Are you going down?
I am going to Morant Bay, because we have an election to win in Morant Bay as well. So I'll be in Morant Bay later. So let me also,
we'll be all over.
Also thank Ralston Iman, who spent the first hour with us, giving us his take on the Jamaican economy. My people, thank you very much. See you. Blessings. Thanks, everybody. Right. One love. Thanks to all the listeners and the viewers. Please remember to subscribe, share the channel, and like up the video. Blessings, my people. It has been an honor. It has been an honor here this morning. One love.